was worth doing a small blog just on this because we were on the 4:15 ferry from Athens to Aegina. The ferry was called Agios Nektarios. About 10 miles out and about halfway along our journey, we heard some screaming. Then we realised that there was a person in the water. It's very difficult to see someone at sea. They can get easily lost, and if they start going under the water, then you can lose sight of them. The first thing that we did was we all pointed at the person, and then we made sure that the captain knew that there was somebody in the water. The ferry, obviously because it's such a big ferry, it was travelling at quite a high speed, and it takes a while to slow down, and the turning circle is quite large.
There's a man in the water. So our ferry's turned round to go and we'll see if he's all right.
As we got closer to the person, we realised that it was a woman. It seems strange that there was someone in the water so far out. It wasn't anywhere near a beach, and we didn't see a boat searching for someone. It was a major shipping channel, so maybe she came off a large ship. So as the ferry that we were on got closer to her, they threw a life ring in. The life ring didn't reach her at first, so they prepared to throw it again, and this time the life ring got closer, so she was able to swim over to it. As somebody was pulling her in on the life ring, they lowered a couple of rope ladders. Such a large ship, they didn't reach the water's surface exactly. One of the crew members climbed down the ladder and tried to help her get onto the ladder, but she didn't have enough energy or strength. She was unable to get onto the ladder to climb up it. The woman was conscious, she looked pale. I think as the boat maybe was lifting up and down on the swell, it created an effect where she was kind of getting sucked down a little bit. So that when the crew realised that she was unable to get onto the ladder, a high-speed boat arrived to provide assistance, but this boat had quite high sides to it. Eventually they had a plan that they were going to lower the ramp, as that would make it easier to get her into the ferry. So a crew member jumped into the water and he pulled her round while she was in the life ring round to the aft part of the ferry. A group of crew members managed to hoist her onto the ramp. It was difficult to get her out of the water, even onto the ramp, because the ferry was still going up and down slightly with the swell, and she didn't seem to have any energy, so it really was a case of using all their strength to pull her onto the ferry. When she was finally dragged onto the ramp, she didn't seem to have any energy. She wasn't able to get up. I didn't know if anyone was able to do any first aid, so I remained close to the casualty just in case they required any assistance. So I just observed, and I noticed that she was breathing and she was able to talk. They did put her into a recovery position. I noticed that she was vomiting. She seemed very cold. She was able to speak. My main concerns were how her condition might deteriorate after rescue. The woman was transferred onto the red high-speed powerboat that had been standing by. The other thing is, I don't think they should have put her up, right? Because you know when you... I think they're trying to get to the Hellenic Coast Guard. I think their plan was to transfer her to the Coast Guard boat that also arrived.
Now the Coast Guard's coming.
They probably decided that it was unsafe because there was some swell. I was also concerned about how her condition might deteriorate after she was put onto the high-speed boat and who was going to look after her then. When the woman was transferred onto the high-speed boat, we continued on our journey. Yeah, so someone discovered there was someone in the water, a person in the water, so we all started shouting and pointing, and someone ran up to tell the skipper. So they turned the ferry round and managed to eventually get her into the boat with a lot of difficulty, because obviously she'd been in the water for a while, she had no energy left, she was cold, and the ladder didn't go right into the water, so she didn't have the strength to even pull herself up. And then they brought her around. Eventually someone dived in with her and took her around to the back, and they lowered the ramp that gets the boats in, and they managed to finally get her on there, and they dragged her in, and then she was conscious and she was able to talk. I think they got her details, but then they sort of decided to move her to another boat, and then they whizzed her back to the hospital, hopefully. But I think they were pretty good, sort of helping to get her. But oh well, hopefully she'll be all right. So we don't actually know what happened to the woman afterwards. We hope that she was okay. There wasn't anything in the media. It was quite troubling to see someone like that in the water, but we also learned a lot from that experience. The main thing was really how difficult it is to get someone back onto a boat. I mean, this was a very large boat, but it will be difficult on any boat really, and we all know that, we've learned that, but actually to see it and to see how long